College application is not a form, it's a system. That might be why it feels confusing. You're not failing to figure it out. You're trying to navigate a system nobody walked you through. Once you see the system, the chaos becomes a checklist. Once you have the checklist, senior year becomes manageable. This week, I'll walk you through it. Hi, I'm Dr. Heather Case. Welcome to week 14 of Stressed Out to Stand Out. Last week, we covered financial aid. This week, the applications themselves. Next week, week 15, we cover the timing strategy, early decision, early action, and when each one makes sense. 2 weeks, one coherent system. There are about a dozen application platforms in active use. Most students use 2, maybe 3 of them. Here are the 5 that cover nearly every case. Common App, the most widely used platform in the country. Over 1,000 colleges accept it. There's one main application, your profile, your activities list, your personal statement, that flows to every school on your Common App list. Each school has the option to add its own supplemental questions or essay prompts on top of that. Coalition application, smaller, about 150 schools, including some that don't accept the Common App. If your list includes coalition-only schools, it's likely that you will use both the Coalition app and the Common App. UC application. The University of California system has its own application, separate from the Common App entirely. If you are applying to any UC school, so Berkeley, UCLA, San Diego, and any of the others, you will use this platform. The UC asks 4 personal insight questions of 350 words each. Different format, different deadline from most other schools. Apply Texas, the Texas state system required for UT Austin and other Texas public universities. Institutional portals. Some schools, MIT is the clearest example along with Georgetown and a few others, require you to apply directly through their own portal. Common App or Coalition App doesn't help you with these. You handle them school by school on their own timeline. And one more, questbridge, which I'll cover in a few minutes as a part of a dedicated segment for first-generation students. It's not just a platform, it's a program. It has its own rules, its own timeline, and its own extraordinary financial implications. Regardless of what platform you use, every college application is built from the same 8 components. Knowing what they are turns submission night from chaos into a checklist you can actually work through. 1. The basics. Name, address, demographics, family information, citizenship status. 5 minutes to fill out once, reuses across applications on the same platform. Additionally, if you are using the Common App, I haven't found something that isn't covered in the demographic section of the Common App. 2. Academic information. Your high school, your GPA, your current courses, your transcript. While you will have to have your school counselor send an official copy, some schools on the Common App actually require you to self-enter the courses from your transcript as well. 3. Activities list. Up to 10 entries on the Common App. 50 characters per role, 150 per description. Sounds like almost nothing, but it's where a huge amount of your story gets told. Week 16 spends a full lesson there. 4. Test scores, if you're submitting them. Self-reported on the application, official score reports go separately from the testing company. 5. Your personal statement. 1 essay, 650 words, the same for every school on your Common App list. Weeks 17 and 18 covered this in full. 6. Supplemental essays. Each school adds its own on top of the Common App. Some schools ask 1, some actually ask none, and others ask 6. Week 20 covers supplementals specifically. 7, letters of recommendation, your counselor plus typically 2 teachers. We'll talk about those in weeks 21 and 22. And 8, financial aid forms, FAFSA, CSS profile. Talked about that last week in week 13. But they're filed separately and they must arrive before the school's financial aid deadline. That's the system. 8 components, 1 academic year. When you lay it out this way, it's not impossible. It's a project with a beginning, a middle, and an end. Let me tell you about a student I'll call Soraya. Soraya is an Iranian-American second generation, a strong, focused student with broad interests and a wide range of schools. 8 on the Common App, 3 UCs, and 1 private school with its own institutional portal. 12 applications across 3 different platforms. When she came to me in August, she was completely overwhelmed. Her exact words were, "I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing right now." We didn't start with the essays. We didn't even open an application. We started with a spreadsheet. 12 rows, 1 per school, columns for each. Deadline, platform, number of supplemental essays required, number of recommendations needed, financial aid forms and deadlines, whether demonstrated interest matters for each school. Then we color-coded by month. September deadlines in 1 color, November in another, January in a third. 45 minutes later, Soraya had a complete picture of exactly what she was facing. The work wasn't smaller, but it was knowable. She had a real to-do list that lived on a page instead of somewhere in the fog. Her stress went down noticeably within just a week because she had named the scope. The tracker isn't fancy. The tracker is the thing that makes everything else possible. Build yours before you open a single application. If you're a first-generation college student, meaning neither of your parents completed a 4-year degree in the United States during your formative years, there are application platforms and programs that were built specifically for you. Most students don't know they exist. I didn't. Knowing supports are there changes outcomes. Let's talk about questbridge. This is the big one, a national program for high-achieving, low-income high school seniors. About 50 partner colleges participate, including most of the Ivies, most top liberal arts schools, Stanford, MIT, and lots others. The questbridge college match round, if you're selected, results in a full 4-year scholarship covering tuition, room, board, and books. No loans. The application is free. The deadline is in late September of your senior year, earlier than almost every other application you will file. Look it up today. The deadline is load-bearing. College Possible pairs first-generation students with near-peer coaches who guide you through every step of the application process. It's free, and it's available in select cities across the country. Bottom line, free one-on-one application advising for first-generation students. Available in a handful of states. If you are in their service area, consider using them. College Greenlight, a search platform built specifically for first-generation students. Better filters, better scholarship matches, better resources than the general platforms. And one more thing, if your family cannot help you with application paperwork or context, your school counselor can write what's called a counselor context letter that explains your specific circumstances to colleges. You don't have to wait for them to offer. You ask directly. So 3 things to do this week. 1, build your tracker. Spreadsheet or paper, it does not matter. 1 row per school. Columns for platform, deadlines, supplements, recommendations, financial aid forms, and demonstrated interest status. 45 minutes will easily save you 40 hours of confusion in the fall. 2, identify which application platforms your list will require. Most students will use Common App plus one or possibly two others. Sign up for each platform now, not in October. Some schools require you to create an account before they can see your demonstrated interest activity. 3. If you are first generation, take 5 minutes today and look up questbridge. Specifically, look up their application deadline for this cycle. It comes way before most other deadlines. Don't miss it because nobody told you about it. And one last thing. Almost everyone tells you senior year is overwhelming. They're not wrong, but the overwhelm isn't because the work's impossible. It's because nobody hands you a system. Nobody shows you the map before you start walking. But you have the system now. 8 components, the tracker, the platforms. Next week, we cover the timing strategy that ties it all together. The chaos becomes a checklist. The checklist gets done. Next week, week 15, strategic application timing. Early decision versus early action versus regular decision versus rolling. Whew! The legal weight of binding decisions, when to submit early, and when that might be a mistake. This is one of the most important lessons in the entire series. The consequences of misunderstanding early decision can be permanent. Subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Before you go, I want to remind you of something very important. You are so much more than your application. Your worth is not determined by acceptance letters or rejection emails. I want you to know that your story matters. Tell it honestly, tell it bravely, and know that I am always here cheering you on. I'll see you next week.